You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Welcome to the show, The Scrimmage. I feel like I should have gone
loud noises.
Some kind of a weird noise, but like I always intend to do that. Like Daniel does it very naturally. For me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make this noise, and then when the music drops down, I'm like, hello, everyone.
Oh, hi.
Hello, friends. Anyway, this
Daniel's
is the Scrimmage.
Not with us today. He's not feeling well.
Daniel is no longer with us today. I'm Justin Domashevitz, Daniel Hargrove. Hopefully we'll be back next week, and our trusty producer Andrew Gross is here with me. The Scrimmage is brought to you by Ole Penn Real Estate and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. We do have some stuff to talk about today. It'll be some Mariners talk.
That's good.
We have an Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week. We will have a Stump Andrew because Daniel is gone.
Oh, no.
Which may lead us into a little bit of Seahawks talk, but we'll keep it brief. And in the mailbag, we will reveal the results of the poll that determine what will go on our wiffle ball jersey.
I haven't been paying attention to that.
Yeah, well,
exciting.
You'll find out at the end of the show, but for now, let's get it going with the 2-minute drill.
Let's go, huddle up. Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball around. Gonna do it right. 3 jet Buckeye on 1 right 3.
The 2-minute drill starts now. Justin, Seattle Mariners outfielder Julio Rodriguez burst onto the national scene last week by hitting 81 dingers and finishing second in the home run derby. How significant was this moment for the rookie?
It was really huge because it's easy, since baseball is such a regional game, for us to all feel like, well, yeah, Julio was already a star. But because it's so regional, he wasn't really a national star yet. Becoming this big national sensation and everyone being able to fall in love with watching him play and seeing his personality and just how he is out there having a great time, I think it was a really big deal. He was being mentioned on the national shows that I listen to, national podcasts every week. There's never Mariners talk. I don't think I've heard Julio Rodriguez spoken one time all season. Now they did. People now across the globe
are talking about him.
People are talking. And across the globe, people can now fall in love with Julio Rodriguez just like Mariners fans already had. In 2015, Major League Baseball changed the home run derby format from a set number of outs to a running clock. Andrew, which derby format do you prefer?
I prefer the old format. The new format it feels like ADD. Like I hate it, actually. It's
so
watching
hectic.
It's impossible to watch it.
Yeah.
You can't enjoy any of the balls. There's like they're swinging and you don't know if he's hitting a home run or not because it's like three balls in the air at the same time. I hate it. I don't like it at all. And also I think that it's really an endurance test, not a dinger test. I would much rather have 10 outs and judged on distance or something similar like that. So I hate it. Justin, the Arizona Cardinals signed Kylar Murray on Thursday to a massive 5-year, $230 million extension with a total of $160 million in guarantees. Justin, will the Cardinals regret this contract?
I understand that they did it because they needed to do it, because once you find your guy, and there's no doubt that Kylar Murray is physically capable of doing the job of quarterback. Once you find your guy, you kind of got to pay him. I don't think they wanted to pay him the second highest contract by season average in NFL history, but I get that they had to do it. Ultimately, we've seen so many of these contracts just end up in catastrophe. It happens all the time. Given Kylar Murray's injury history, his stature, and just what I feel like is a lot of bust capability, I believe the Cardinals will end up regretting this deal in the long run. But they kind of had to do it.
Yeah, they kind of had to do it, and I'll be honest, I don't think that they gave him a big deal.
Okay.
After the precedent that was set in, I'm losing all my words.
That's okay. You're doing a lot of things right now.
Cleveland gave a fully guaranteed contract
to Watson. Yeah.
After that, and contracts are constantly going up.
Yeah.
Like if you sign it, not the greatest quarterback of all time,
Mm-hmm.
if you sign an extension to a top 20 quarterback right now, he's going to be the one or two highest.
Yeah.
If he's really good, he should be the highest.
Most of them have been the highest, even when they don't deserve to be the highest. Like thinking about guys like Carson Wentz and Jared Goff getting these massive deals when they probably really didn't deserve them because it's just the way things are going. So maybe it was a win just for the fact that they only signed him to the second highest average salary in the NFL. Just Aaron Rodgers is the only one who's more.
That was kind of my interpretation. Like, it's huge. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they actually overpaid for him in the current market.
Yeah.
I think that when we see the next like real huge, really good quarterback contract we see will make it look pathetic.
Yeah, and that begs the question, what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson? Because I feel like there's kind of a similar story there. Like, tons of potential. I mean, Lamar Jackson won an MVP, but at the same time, he wasn't great last year, so you don't exactly know what you're getting.
Well, he's going to have to learn to play real quarterback as he isn't quite... I feel like I like the running quarterbacks, but I think that people are too quick to crown them elite or to assume that because they're elite running quarterbacks, they can become elite 3 years after you're a rookie running quarterbacks. And we've seen that is so incredibly difficult.
I mean, the transition that Russ made from being a scrambler to being a passer, he did it really well, but a lot of guys haven't done it really well.
Yeah.
I think the one thing people always point to is that Lamar did throw 36 touchdowns in his MVP season, but I don't think there's any doubt that the center point of his game has always been the ability to run.
Well, yeah, and it isn't, no one credible was saying Lamar Jackson can't throw at all.
Yeah.
But there is a question as to whether he can throw effectively when he can't run or when he doesn't want to run because it hurts a lot more and he's maybe a little dinged up, all that.
Yeah.
As you get multiple years into a football career, it gets harder and harder to be 2 steps faster than everybody else on the field.
Exactly. And we do have data on that because with Lamar Jackson specifically in the playoffs when teams were scheming against him very specifically, he's been pretty bad. And then also he was way below the standard that he set last year.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there if the quarterback, I mean, to me, I always think like there's got to be a market correction on these things eventually. Like every quarterback can't keep getting more money.
It's just like stocks, Justin, only goes up.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, I just going back really quickly to the home run derby format. I am so with you. I was watching it on TV, and I don't think I've watched a home run derby in the last 7 years since they changed the format. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh crap, this is really different from what I remember. And I didn't know what was going on, but it's so chaotic. And just like from a production standpoint, how do they turn that into a product that's fun to watch on TV? Like you can't tell when Julio's jacking these, so many of the hits that he had, I was like, oh, that's out. Wait a minute, the number didn't go up. Why didn't the number go up?
And then the number goes up later.
But then
and
I didn't
you're
even,
but which swing was that?
Exactly. I didn't get to watch the ball land. It's really hard to get a grasp for exactly what's going on. And just trying to produce that is insane. And you could see Julio's strategy compared to some of the other guys was just go as fast as possible. So like when you said 3 balls in the air at the same time, might not have been an exaggeration. There could literally have been 3 balls in the air at the same time at the rate he was hitting them.
Yeah, it was, and it was basically impossible to watch it and understand what was happening at all. So it was just, you were just watching the numbers in the corner, you know, and then, oh, he's swinging. I did like that Julio he seemed to have the only thrower pitcher. I don't know if you call it a pitcher if they're pitching batting practice, but he had the only guy that seemed to have a strategy that fit the format.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is like winding up and stuff, and literally Julio's guy is just like nobody just popping it and just in the exact same spot every
just that
single time.
Low inside spot right where he was whacking him.
We kind of seems strange to me. You'd think everybody talks about how Pete Alonso, like, that's his thing. That's like the only thing he really cares about, and he's like worried, like focused on that. You'd think that he would have a guy similar, like, because that's clearly the best way if you want to hit the most home runs as fast as possible.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And so the idea that the thing you said about it being an endurance contest instead of a home run derby, that is totally what it is. I want something. I know they changed it because the derby was going like twice as long as it was supposed to. It ran long anyway, but like just being able to watch the guys and actually track and follow what's happening. I don't care if there's less home runs. I just want to see the home runs be hit.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And honestly, I love the idea of like the final two just like taking turns. Yeah. Like one pitch.
Yes.
Strokes it.
Love it. One
more pitch. The next guy strokes it. And you're just like, oh my gosh, winner wins the first one to miss.
Sudden death. Yeah. But anyway, that will segue very smoothly into my favorite part of the show. Serving questions up on a silver platter where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump Daniel. Stump Andrew is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. I am Justin Domashevitz, no relation.
What's the A stand for?
And it segues seamlessly into a topic that's completely different and nothing about what we were just talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat.
But I have in front of me Chris Sims' top 40 quarterbacks for this season. He put this list out this month. Actually, he put it out towards the end of June, I believe. So it has a list of the 40 best quarterbacks in the NFL, according to Chris Sims. So what I'm going to do for you, no Googling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the different quarterbacks that are in the Seahawks division, and I want you to tell me where you think Chris Sims may have ranked them on this list. We'll start with defending Super Bowl champion Rams and their quarterback, Matthew Stafford.
Could you repeat the question again?
Where on this list of the top 40 quarterbacks in the NFL? Where
top 40?
Yes, and this is Chris Sims, who is he's a former NFL quarterback. No, it's saying current
top 40. Okay.
Going into this season, who are the best 40 quarterbacks for this season?
I'm sorry, you just explained that.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
There's 3 balls in the air at the same time. So, Andrew, where on this list of 40 does Matthew Stafford fall? It's kind of a tough one.
6.
Oh my God, you nailed it. You got to give yourself the Mario coin there. 1 for 1. Woo!
I wish I could say that I could name off 5 that I thought were better, but I just ballparked it.
Well, at the end of this, I'll give you the top. I'll give you as many as you want, but at least the top 10. I'll give you the top 10. Okay, next quarterback, Kylar Murray. Where do you think Chris Sims put Kylar Murray on the list of top 40 quarterbacks?
Chris Sims. Top Kylar Murray. Is he number 9?
Ooh, I'm sorry. You got to give yourself the wah-wah. Dak Prescott is number 9. Kyler Murray is number 12. So close.
I was actually thinking 13. 13 or 9 were the two that I was
13
like,
or 9. Yeah, nothing in between, but 13 or 9. Okay, next one, Andrew. Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, this is an interesting quarterback question here in San Francisco, and I don't think Garoppolo is likely to be the week 1 starter because it seems like he'll get dealt or cut because they want to go with Trey Lance.
The news this week was that they gave Jimmy's agent permission to seek a trade. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Chris Sims thinks thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo is the 24th best quarterback.
Chris Sims thinks Jimmy Garoppolo is better than you think Chris Sims thinks Jimmy Garoppolo is. He's got Garoppolo at 20.
Oh wow.
So right now,
wait, what did I say?
24.
Oh, okay.
You said
That's actually pretty. I feel pretty good about
Well,
that.
when you said 20 and then you kind of lingered for a second, I shot you a look like stop there. But you didn't know, you didn't pick up on it.
I was trying not to cheat.
Now, here's another one. Trey Lance, who is very highly likely to be the week 1 starter in San Francisco. Where do you think Trey Lance ranks on this list?
So this is. Do I think? I wish I'd been paying attention to what Chris Sims has been saying because I would know, based on his opinion of what's happening in San Francisco. I think that he thinks that Trey Lance is the 17th best.
He's got him at 31.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
he's a Jimmy guy.
I'm going to assume that he believes Trey Lance is very raw and unlikely to be great this season. Okay, now this is where it gets a little tricky. Gino Smith, Andrew. Where do you think Chris Sims has Gino Smith?
32.
He's actually got him at 33.
Who's he got at 30? Oh, wait, do I?
I can't reveal those things yet, but I will reveal them at the end. Anything you want to know.
At the end, I want to know who he has ahead of between Gino and Trey.
So, yeah, I mean, just for the record, there are 32 teams.
Yeah.
So Sims is saying you do not have Geno Smith as a starter caliber quarterback.
I'm not going to argue with him there.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the idea.
Drew Lock, Andrew. Where do you think he has Drew Lock ranked?
Does he have Drew Lock ranked 31st? Oh, wait, no, 31st was Trey.
Yeah.
32nd?
Was that your final answer?
Yes, that's my final guess.
He's got Drew Lock at 40.
Wow.
So Chris Sims is saying,
brutal.
Seahawks, you do not have a starting caliber quarterback on your roster.
Well, I think we knew that.
It's fair. It's fair. I would like to throw in, he has Gardner Minshew at 37, which I think is way too low.
Still flying under the radar, but definitely better than Locke.
One more question, and this is only because it has a hometown tie. Where do you think Russell Wilson is on his list? Remember, Stafford was at 6.
Is Russell Wilson at 8?
7. Really
7.
close.
Wow.
Really close. Okay, I'm going to give you at least the top 10 here, and then anything else that seems interesting. He has Josh Allen at number 1.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes at number 2.
List.
Patrick Mahomes at number 2. Justin Herbert at number 3. Which I think, whatever order you put him in, I think most people would agree those 3 guys are top tier. One thing I thought was interesting is he's got Joe Burrow at 4, ahead of
Did
Aaron
somebody
Rodgers
tell him
at 5.
that Brady unretired,
Yeah, Brady's on the list.
but not at number 1?
No. But
That's
he's got
bold of him.
Burrow ahead of Rodgers, and Rodgers is the 2-time defending MVP of the league. I thought, okay, that's interesting. Also, he's a total Rodgers homer. Loves Aaron Rodgers in a way
Well,
that's
apparently not.
uncomfortable sometimes. But probably felt betrayed by him with his vaccine takes and moved on.
Probably.
So you got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, the aforementioned Matthew Stafford, followed by Russell Wilson, then Tom Brady at 8
Okay.
with his old man noodle arm, Dak Prescott at 9, and Lamar Jackson at 10.
Interesting.
So a couple of other things that I thought were kind of interesting in this. Like, he's sort of grouped, there's a bunch of, like, young quarterbacks.
Where was Kyler Murray? Was
12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bunch of young quarterbacks that, like, I don't think we quite know who they are yet. And some of them, he seems like he's got Mac Jones at 18. And then you have to go down to 21, 22, 23, 24, where you get into Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. So he obviously feels like, I would have thought Mac Jones would group in with those guys, but he's got him above those guys with a couple in between. Jalen Hurts at 25. Jameis Winston, who, to be honest, I didn't even realize was the starter.
Is he still
I
in the
guess
league?
he's going to be the starter at New Orleans at number 26. Here's a good one. Former Tar Heel Mitchell Trubisky at 27. So this list is interesting. I don't always...
It is list season.
It is. And I don't always agree with Sims. I think he's got some weird takes. But I thought it was
Aaron
interesting.
Rodgers number 4?
Aaron Rodgers number 5.
That is a weird
behind Joe Burrow, which
Yeah.
is I guess I would have felt like Rodgers.
Burrow is the one that's Bengal, right?
Yeah.
Who's the Justin Herbert is the one that's
Chargers.
Both of them are really young and have flashed really, really like they've looked really, really good.
Yeah, I would have thought that Rodgers would have grouped up with those 3 guys
Yeah.
at the top, and then whatever order. I almost feel like you could put those guys in any order, and I wouldn't gripe about it too much.
I probably shouldn't talk too much because I'm totally there for taking shots at Aaron Rodgers. I just am used to the people who know what they're talking about, or who say they're talking about being like, "Oh, I'm Rodgers, the most talented arm in the league."
Yeah. But I do think that leads to the interesting conversation of something that we've sort of been just avoiding recently, which is, what are the Seahawks going to do? Like what do they do? Like what did they do?
Justin,
Yeah.
it's easy.
Okay.
They'll just play football
Yeah.
and win more games than they should.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, and get a really frustratingly mediocre season without a super high draft pick out of it.
That's probably true. I know I'm not the only one that's flashing back to Travaris Jackson and clipboard Jesus.
Absolutely. No, that's that's what I'm saying. Look at what they did last time they didn't have a starting
I think they were
quarterback.
7-9 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that brings up the question, because the big question across the nation this week with quarterbacks was, what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo, since the news that, as you pointed out, the news came out that they could seek a trade. I kind of doubt there'll be a trade between the Niners and the Seahawks.
I kind of doubt anybody's going to trade for Jimmy.
So will he get released?
I think
I think
everybody's
is the question.
everybody's basically calling. I think that they will call the bluff.
Yeah.
In that they're going, are you really going to start Trey Lance? Really?
So
No, you're going to cut him, aren't you? That's what I think they're saying.
So you think Trey Lance will be the starter, or you think someone else will be the starter?
Well, I don't know. I think that there's a reasonable chance that the 49ers kind of don't really trust Trey Lance and kind of would like to have Jimmy Garoppolo around to start for them.
Because I would think that would be absolutely the way I would want to go if I were the Niners. But I think they're in a situation now where that relationship is kind of fractured. And if that is going to happen, where Jimmy's going to be their starter and be the bridge to Trey Lance for, a month or whatever it is, that relationship would have to be repaired.
If you say so. I haven't been following it closely. I don't
This is
know
not based on anything that Garoppolo said. It's based on national media people trying to read the situation and figure it out.
Because my impression has been that Garoppolo has been handling it really, really well. And I love to hate on Garoppolo, and I don't really think that he's a great quarterback.
Would you like him over Locke or Smith? Or would you rather have him in Seattle over either of the other 2 options you have?
I won't be angry if they picked him up after he were cut. I wouldn't have particularly high. I probably have the most interest in Locke. I'm not predicting it, but I think that there's just at least a significant enough to be interesting possibility that he really was screwed over by coaching and culture at the
Denver.
Broncos, and that under a good coach he could really blossom and become better than he's been in the past. I wouldn't bet on it, but that's the most interesting. I think Jimmy G is a perfect example of a quarterback that's good enough to not kill you, but doesn't make a team better.
Okay. I think that's fair.
I think that he's that on a good team, he can go to the Super Bowl. He's not going to win a game for you late. He's not going to do something exciting. He will probably not throw an interception to lose you the game, although he does. There's also the argument that he has a propensity to do that. So
I think I'm with you on the comparison between Gino Smith and Drew Lock as well. Just
I have no interest in Gino Smith.
Yeah.
I honestly, I will be so frustrated if I'd rather see terrible quarterback play from Locke because I'd be interested in seeing it rather than Gino Smith, where I'm like, I know that he's not good enough to be very good, and I'm not interested in really seeing it tried.
This is where I have been for a long time. Like, I feel like so many Seahawks fans have tried to do the optimistic thing and go, well, look what Gino did last year in the system. And, you know, Chris Sims did note Gino's always had a big arm. His accuracy was improved last year. Decision-making was improved. And I'm looking at it going, we know who he is. Like, there's dozens of games worth of
all of a sudden going to become a plus quarterback.
Exactly. There's proof of what he is. At least with Locke, you got all these what ifs. Like, he only played for a couple years. He was good in the beginning, and then why did he tail off? And I don't think we've seen enough of Drew Lock to really know what he can be. And, you know, noting, like, since I said Chris Sims made the point about Gino, big arm, improved accuracy, he said in this list that he was making when he was writing all the tweets about it, that Drew Lock has top 15 quarterback abilities. Like, he has the physical skill set of a top 15 quarterback. So if he could manage to put it together, I just don't know, like, is the Seahawks' current offense...
Can we be like the Rams were a few years ago and just offload the quarterback brain responsibilities to the sideline?
Like they did with Goff?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it's so... I think that I'm with you, like, right in line with you on, at least if we have Drew Lock at quarterback, there'll be, like, that possibility, that there's that potential there, that you wonder what's going to happen. And I feel like we know what's going to happen with Geno Smith. It's going to be Travaris Jackson 2.0.
I like Travaris better.
Okay. Mid.
So I'm
Travaris
just going to put that out there. I really liked Travaris. I wanted,
as a person?
as a backup quarterback, and as a
sure.
person, I really liked him. I'm not a huge fan of Geno either way.
Okay. Well, we're going to stop with Seahawks talk because we got a long way till football season. We do have some Mariners talk. We've got an Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week, and we're going to talk about our wiffle ball jersey poll results. But let's take a quick commercial break. Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Damashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Damashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit damashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com. Welcome back to the Scrimmage. Thank you for listening or watching, whichever you're doing. I'm Justin Damashevitz. Daniel Hargrove is not with us anymore here today. And Andrew Gross, our trusty producer, is here making me sound as good as he possibly can, which is a very difficult task. We are brought to you by Ole Penn Real Estate and the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz. And speaking of Ole Penn Real Estate, we will now do our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week segment.
Ooh. Do you want a drum roll?
Yeah. Our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week is Trey Seidel.
Ooh.
Now,
congratulations, Trey.
I feel like I need to put the little note in here. There's not a lot of sports going on. So as I'm looking around at local sports saying,
wow, I can't believe you would say that.
What's been happening this week is like Little League tournaments are largely over. None of our teams that made it to the state tournament had a deep push or placed in the state tournament that I could find. And I was just kind of looking around. What can we do? Everything's old. And then I got a message from Trey, who is someone that we followed very closely through basketball season. He is Raymond's all-time leading scorer in their boys basketball program. And he told me that he committed to play basketball in college at Cornerstone University.
Cool.
And this is something we were kind of keeping an eye on what Trey was going to do. I had exchanged a couple messages back and forth with him in the past about, you know, what his next steps were going to be. And so I knew he wanted to play college basketball, but I didn't know where he was going to go. And he recently has committed to Cornerstone University.
It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
It is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's an NAIA school. And of Trey's list of great accomplishments, of which there are many, league MVP, As I already mentioned, Raymond's all-time basketball boys leading scorer. He was a state placer in track in the hurdles. I think he took third. Most impressively, he is one of only 2 ever certified bucket getters named by this show.
That means a lot.
I feel like just that alone would have been enough for him to be like, hey, I got this certification. I'm a certified bucket getter. Can I go to your college and play basketball for you? He should have been able to pretty much take that anywhere he went. But that might be on us because we never gave him a paper copy.
Oh, that's on you.
And
that
who
was
has
your job?
Who has printers anymore? Like everything's electronic. But yeah, very, very impressive, Trey. And just for clarification, because I didn't know, I kind of had heard of NAIA schools before, and I was sort of aware.
NAIA?
Yeah, okay, so it's like a separate association from the NCAA.
I like it already.
But so I think the big difference is like, as I was scrolling through, like, what are the difference between these two and what's the equivalent? I think an NAIA school, it's kind of an organization of smaller colleges, but they're kind of on par with about Division II of the NCAA. And then the big difference is once you get past Division II to Division III in the NCAA, those schools, like we have some local ones like PLU and UPS, I believe. Those schools can't give athletic scholarships. So NAIA, being a separate division or separate association from the NCAA, they are allowed to do athletic scholarships, is one of the differences that I could find. But anyway, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on that. I just want to say congratulations, Trey. Largely because there's no other sports going on, and mostly because we like you. You're our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week.
Congratulations.
The Mariners stink.
I don't want to talk about it. It's been a rough couple days after the All-Star break.
They're losing 6-0 right now.
I'm mostly worried about Julio. Like, if his wrist gets better and he comes back to the lineup, then I don't really care that they lost the games that he wasn't in. But this is his third game straight.
Boop boop sound?
I don't know what's making it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Something.
I kind of like it. It adds character to the podcast.
Probably.
There's 3 balls in the air at the same time.
More than that. There are so many.
Boop boop. I heard it again.
I don't know what's making it. It's happening again.
It's
not when we're getting chats on
Okay.
Facebook. We do have a couple.
Do we have chats in the YouTube?
Yeah, Allie says at least the Mariners aren't cheaters like the Astros.
True.
And she also, Trastros.
Yeah.
Also, she says that Gino shouldn't be a starter. And Johanna, my wife, says nice cup.
This cup?
Yeah.
It's so sparkly.
It is.
I love it. I picked it up before I even took a sip out of it. And I said, it's so sparkly. It just kind of makes you feel good.
Yeah. She picked it out for you.
Everyone should drink out of a sparkly cup.
I disagree.
So what was Allie's comment again?
Gino shouldn't be a starter.
Okay.
Which we agree with.
We agree with.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the Mariners may stink right now, tonight, but they're not cheaters.
And they don't do stupid things like have a shortstop who just runs into a guy who's trying to run through first base. So this happened right before we started. Well, we went live. We got the game up on, and Andrew's still watching it on his tablet. He's got the game up on his tablet. Winker hits the ball. They must have had a shift on because what's the guy's name, Andrew? Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
Coming across the infield, scoops up a grounder, flips it in his glove to the first baseman. Winker is trying to beat it out, and he's running through first base. And the shortstop, Pena, just runs right into the path after first base and then jumps into him. And watching it over and over again, they replayed it 3 or 4 times while we were watching.
It bloodied his nose.
They had to put a Band-Aid on his face.
Well, they were trying to, and he jerked away angrily, which I low-key love when athletes do that. I get it. I get that feeling. It's just no, just knock it off. I don't need a Band-Aid. But it always looks like it's so public, and it looks so petulant.
It looks like a toddler.
Yeah, you just look like a kid.
I don't want it.
Leave it. Oh, Ali didn't miss the Julio. So what happened with Julio, if you haven't been following closely, the week before the All-Star break, Julio jammed his wrist sliding to the second against the Rangers. It wasn't an issue. They weren't talking about it as an issue. He went through, the All-Star break happened. He went and played in the All-Star game, hit 81 dingers in the home run derby. Mm-hmm. And then at 6:30 Friday night, game started at 7:10. They had announced him as starting in center field. They scratched him at 6:30 because of wrist inflammation, and he hasn't played yet. And they're saying he's day to day. They're just waiting for it to clear up.
He missed 3 games.
He has now missed 3 games.
They did an MRI, and it was negative, so there's no structural damage.
And this is the wrist that he had a hairline fracture in 2020, I believe.
Okay. And I think that the hard part about it is like the All-Star break is fun and it's cool and it was huge for him. But at the same time, like, guys skip the All-Star break.
He hit 81 bombs with an injury.
Yes. But guys skip the All-Star game all the time when they're hurt. Like Jose Altuve invented an injury to skip the All-Star break so he wouldn't have to go get booed in LA at the Dodger Stadium. Yeah. Like, so then Mariners fans are going, what the heck? Like, it's cool that you got to go play in the All-Star game, but now this is an injury that you sustained beforehand. Yeah. And now you're missing real games, important games that we're losing afterwards.
Yeah. And I'm not holding it against Julio. Mm-hmm. Like, especially considering that it was a big deal. Like, this wasn't like a 3rd or 4th All-Star game where it's like, everybody knows who I am. This was a big deal for honestly, probably for the Mariners also. Like, there's a real chance that the impact that Julio and Ty France had at the All-Star game could have a significant impact on the Mariners' ability to bring in free agents in the next few years. But my PTSD is just the battered fan syndrome. I'm just like, oh no. There's a superstar in Seattle. Of course he's going to hurt his wrist.
It's Mariners-y. Like, it is.
It is very Mariners-y.
But at the same time, I'm looking at it going, I'm so not upset with Julio or the Mariners or anybody. I'm just like, it's just annoying. Like, if I had
it's worrying.
A time machine and the ability and the influence to go back and change that decision, I wouldn't. Like, the kid, he's a 21-year-old guy. Used to probably being able to handle a lot of pain and healing quickly. He had a little thing in his wrist. He thought, I'll be okay. He Hargroved it. He played through it and made it worse. And you know what? Like, that stuff's gonna happen. Like, it's okay. It was a big deal. I get it, but it's still annoying. Like, it's not gonna change the fact that now he's been out of the lineup for 3 games, and I'm calling it on this game. It's 6-0 in the 5th inning. They're gonna lose.
Yeah, because Julio's not there.
So after winning 14 in a row going into the All-Star break, now this has all come crashing down around us. Julio Rodriguez is hurt. In a mysterious way. You had, just before the All-Star break, with your win, you narrowed the margin in the division to 9 games from the Astros. The Astros come right back from the All-Star game, win a doubleheader against the Yankees, and then sweep your ass. 5 games in a row that the Astros win and you lose 3.
I think that it's safe
I'm talking to you like it's you, Andrew, but it's actually the Mariners.
I think it's safe to say that the Mariners' brief aspirations to catching the Astros should be just forgotten quietly.
So just focus on the wild card.
Just focus on the wild card the rest of the way. I do want to remind you, though, it feels horrible, but we knew all season that this next 10 games after the All-Star break were going to be brutal, and going into that 14-game win streak, what we were saying was, if we can just pick up some wins here, finish the first half, it's not really the half, but you finish the first portion of the season strong, then we can just survive through the next 10 games. And then after we have 2 series against the Astros and a series against the Yankees. So we have a series against the Yankees after this, and then the Astros again. Yeah. And then after that, the strength of schedule is ridiculously low.
They have the easiest strength of schedule after that.
And so...
And the Mariners
will be healthy then, hopefully.
Yeah. Lewis is back.
Kyle Lewis is back. That's awesome.
Haniger will probably be back in a couple weeks. Yeah, they jumped right into the outfield.
Yeah.
And, the combination of having... I just got a text from my wife that I cursed in front of my children because they were watching and I said the A word. It just kind of slipped out.
That is...
I got worked up. I apologize.
For shame.
Sorry to all the children out there. But yeah, so I think, looking at the Mariners prospects down the road. It's just frustrating right now. Like, I get it.
It is.
Things are going to get better. Lewis back, Haniger back. Jerry DePoto said the timeline. He's in a rehab stint right now in the minor leagues. They're keeping him close to home by switching him back and forth between Everett and Tacoma.
Yeah, they were keeping him in Tacoma in Everett. They had him in Everett for the first 3 days, and then the Rainiers came back.
Yes.
We're both wearing Rainiers hats.
Exactly. So Haniger back in a couple of weeks.
We're just giving up on the Mariners right now.
Yeah, we're just going into
to
Tacoma Rainiers season.
Go Haniger.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be okay. Julio will come back. I'm really excited to see what the outfield of Haniger, Julio, and Kyle Lewis looks like. I think that's going to be great.
I think realistically, it's going to be Winker, Julio, and either Kyle Lewis or Haniger as they DH and
switching it out.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see a lot of.
Okay. You know what? Whatever keeps Haniger on the field, just DH him every day.
Seriously.
I don't care.
Well, except that didn't he hurt himself swinging?
He hurt himself swinging. You're right. So anyway, the Mariners stink.
Brutal.
But I think we, Andrew, thank you for providing some perspective there.
I'm trying. It is frustrating.
Frustrating now, but the Mariners currently still are, even if they lose today. I mean, when they lose today, they will still be in the third wild card spot. So they'll be in a playoff position still. If we shift our focus from, hey, they might have a chance to catch the Astros, to let's just stay in the wild card spot, knowing guys are coming back from injury, maybe we'll be all right. Even though your ace pitcher today allowed home runs to both of the first two batters in the game.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
Robbie Ray did not have a good day. I don't know if he's still pitching or not, but wow.
Yeah, they should have cut him when I said. A month and a half ago.
No, because he was pitching really well after that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we do still have our mailbag segment. I've got a couple of questions that Andrew and I are going to discuss, and we also have the results of our wiffle ball jersey poll. What Mariners-related slogan will be on our wiffle ball jersey? We will do that on the other side of this commercial break.
At Ole Pen Real Estate, we have solidified our foundation on 4 core values. First, we continuously focus on growing our knowledge in the market and in our practices to bring the highest level of competency to our clients. Second, we provide a high level of integrity, compassion, and kindness in every aspect of our business. Third, we put the human element above business through humor, enthusiasm, and patience. And last but not least, we proactively respond to the needs of our clients. Our mission is to create a personal real estate experience, one person and one home at a time. With Ole Pen, it's personal.
Welcome back to the Scrimmage. Thank you for listening or watching, whichever you're doing. I'm Justin Domashevitz. Daniel Hargrove is no longer with us today, and our trusty producer, Andrew Gross, is here with me. We got some mailbag to get to. Andrew, can we get the mailbag imaging?
The mailbag.
Yes,
Send
the mailbag.
us your stuff. Send us your stuff in a mailbag.
I know everyone has been on the edge of their seats wondering what our wiffle ball jersey slogan will be. A couple years ago, our wiffle ball tournament team had "Smell You Later" for Jared Kelenic. And then last year we had some slick looking blue jerseys that said "Simply Seager" for Kyle Seager. So we need to pick a Mariners player, pick a slogan, and it will represent our scrimmage team at the Young Life wiffle ball tournament next month, which is sponsored by Ole Pen Real Estate. I think some other businesses as well. We will be sponsoring a team, and we will also be set up under a canopy recording a live podcast and coaching up our boys, hopefully going to take home a chip. But we had to figure out what was going to go on the jerseys. We had 4 options. It was either going to be "Vive la France" for Ty France, 2 Out Rally for the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 2 Out Raleigh.
Yeah.
Raleigh? How do you pronounce that name?
I think it's
I would
Raleigh.
say it Raleigh because the city in North Carolina is called Raleigh.
Oh, well. Okay.
Raleigh. I don't know what's right.
You're already ahead of me then.
I don't know what's right. And then we had 2 Julio Rodriguez related options. One was going to be "The One," and we were going to put like matrixy numbers behind him, and it was going to look awesome like he was Neo. And then the other one was "Just Keep Swimming," which I got a couple of write-in votes for that one from older people that I don't think have Twitter. So we didn't count those. But
you didn't count the write-in votes?
No.
That's very biased.
But "Just Keep Swimming," well, it's, okay, boomer. Just Keep Swimming was going to be Julio Rodriguez falling down between second and third base when he was trying to stretch a double into a triple. You know what? It was going to be a triple. He was going to be safe. But he fell down.
He wasn't stretching. He was going to be standing up.
He tripped over nothing
Yeah.
to lead off a game.
Sniper got him.
Yep. And then he laughed. But he did he fell over and then he crawled and tried to swim to the base and then lunged. It was so funny that he wasn't hurt. But anyway, I will finally now reveal the results of the poll.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I have a thing for that.
That was
Nope.
At 37%, Vive la France will be the slogan
Nice.
on our wiffle ball jerseys, which I think we decided we're going to go.
And full disclosure, I didn't even vote in this poll because
It was close. 37% Vive la France, 32% Two Out Raleigh, and
Which I also-
26% for the one
Okay.
with Julio Rodriguez. Oh, wait, hold on. I just got an ESPN update on Julio's wrist. MRI on Julio's wrist reveals bruising but no structural damage. Good news. That's very good news.
That is.
So we will have Vive la France, and I think we decided it
Nice.
will be a Thai France silhouette with a baguette instead of a bat, if we can make that happen. I don't know. That might be a little sophisticated for us, but we'll see if we can pull it off. Andrew's good at stuff.
Wait. Oh, I have to do this?
Well, you're just good at. It was just a compliment.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
just good at
yes,
stuff.
thanks. On an unrelated note.
So I have two questions for you that I found after watching some highlights and some stuff that came out after the All-Star game. Did you see the video of the, I want to say, 50-ish-year-old man who was pushing past children, in some cases elbowing and lunging over children and pinning them to the wall to try to get an autograph from Justin Verlander at the All-Star game?
No.
Yeah, so this has become one of the non-baseball related viral moments that has actually been kind of picked up on some of the national ESPN shows
would
and stuff,
explain
and
why I
people
haven't
talking
seen it.
about it. There's a guy who looked desperate. And this is it's the stands, but it's the bottom of the stands. So there's a green wall. And Justin Verlander is kind of working his way left to right, signing autographs for a whole bunch of kids. And there's one old-looking dude there with a frantic look on his face, leaning into two kids with his arm outstretched across the face of another kid. And at one point, he's his elbow is bumping the kid's face. And so the kid kind of turns around and elbows him back, get off me. And then the guy bumps the kid with his arm and then says something to him and then goes back frantically saying, Justin, Justin. And it's just one of those things where you're dude, what are you doing? And I'm positive that this guy is not happy with how he's being portrayed in the public because everyone's going, what's wrong with you, fella? So, Andrew, at what age should a person stop trying to get autographs from famous people? Because this was something that I did when I was a kid.
Way you go. So
because that's what the conversation has become dude, really, you need an autograph? You desperately need an autograph from this person. And if you go to a Mariners game, there will be the random one or two older people that have a book and they're trying to get a signature from every player in their book. But 95% of the people down there on the railing are kids.
Yeah. I guess. So I don't really care ever. Sports memorabilia in general just is not interesting to me. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying it's dumb, but it's just not interesting to me at all. So I don't even see it as a childish thing. It's just some people are interested in it, I guess. I don't think that there's an age. There's an age where you should start acting like an adult, though, and that's when you become an adult. And if you're an adult who really likes autographs, you should still be acting like an adult and not elbowing kids out of the way.
Right. So to you, it's situational. Hey, if the guy just sees Justin Verlander, he could walk up to him and be like,
or if he's waiting
hey,
in line,
you're
or if
Justin
he's
Verlander.
at the railing, and he's politely waiting.
I think that's
acting like an adult.
I think that's the correct
Then
answer.
I don't have
because
I don't hate on a guy just if you love collecting signatures, more power to you. That's fine. If you're acting like a massive dick to kids while you're collecting your signatures, then I have a serious problem with that.
Yeah. I think that's really what it ultimately boils down to, is like the optics of this is not that this older dude, this older Gen Xer is trying to get an autograph from Justin Verlander. It's that he's competing with children.
Yeah.
All of whom are
Yeah, exactly.
his armpit level and lower. And like watching it is so cringy too, because like the kids that are in front of him are small, and it's like he's leaning forward and like pinning them against the railing, and he's got his arm all in front of this like maybe 11 or 12-year-old kid's face. It's really annoying.
That's bad. And I feel like the thing that's bad about it is the way you're acting, not just the fact that you're old.
I think I stopped being interested.
People like things. It's weird.
I think
other people like weird things.
Roughly around age 16 was kind of when I was like, I'm not really interested in getting autographs anymore, because it always was kind of a fun thing. And I think the age of the autograph is less now, because it's all about selfies. Like, oh, I see a famous person. I meet a safe famous person. Can I get a picture with them? But I think, as a
That's
child,
gotta be easier for the famous people.
Probably. Yeah. But
if I were a famous person, I would much rather let everyone take a picture with me.
Yeah. I'd say, going early to a sporting event and being like banking any amount of your happiness on getting an autograph is a dangerous game. I've been through this with both of my kids. And one time for Peyton's birthday, I think it was his 10th birthday, we went to a Mariners game. I know I've told this story before, but we went, what he wanted was autographs. And so we went. I looked up, what time do the gates open? We went the minute the gates were open. We were the first ones through the door. We went straight down to the autograph spot, and we stood there for 3 hours while every player walked past us and wouldn't sign his ball.
Wow.
And towards the end of it, it was so, like, the look, he was so deflated by the end, and just like, he looked so sad. Like, it's the whole reason he wanted to come. And he's the kid who was standing there. He knew who all the players were. He was yelling their names. He's yelling at him in the dugout. Hey, come over here. I'm trying to remember who the shortstop was at that point. Anyway, their shortstop at the time just throwing the ball against the wall in the dugout and catching it. And Peyton kept just yelling his name at him and yelling it over and over and over again, to the point where he finally looked over and he's like, what? And didn't come sign the ball. But out of nowhere, with like 15 minutes till they were going to kick us out of that section, Robinson Cano comes over, signs autographs for all the kids that were down there on the front row, just made Peyton's day, and I felt like he just saved the day. So no matter how much people here slander Robinson Cano, there's always going to be a place in my heart for that Reuter.
I have a Robinson Cano jersey. My dog is going to wear it to the Bark in the Park in August.
That's awesome. I have 2 signed autograph baseballs with Robinson Cano's signature on them at my house.
Because of that. And
then the other one was when we went to a Blazers game, and we went to Moda Center, and we talked to the people when we get in there, like the attendants, say, what's the best place to go get autographs? And we went down there and we waited for like an hour, and nobody ever came. And this was for Mac. He, at this point, I think he was about 10.
Do you just get autographs on a book, or do you bring a basketball?
We had a program and a Sharpie, so we just bought the program when we went in the door. Yeah,
cool,
and then we was gonna get autographs on that. And nobody came over, and it was like, it's sad. So then I'm thinking like, well, I'm never going to a game again thinking I'm gonna get autographs, because then if it doesn't happen, then the kids are just gonna be sad.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on to what the next question was, and I don't know, Andrew, did you go to a lot of ball games when you were a kid? No Mariners games?
Some, but like one a year.
Did you wear a glove to the ballpark?
I want to say the first time that I went, maybe the first couple times I went. So I probably went to a game when I was like 8 or 9, and then another when I was like 11 or 12. I think I took my glove then, and then I think pretty quick after that I gave up. And then for the last 10 years, I've been going maybe one time a year.
Yeah.
Or every other year.
I feel like that's probably pretty standard.
Yeah.
If you go to one game a year. I know in 2001, when they won all those games, I went to 7. Yeah. Went to so many games that year.
Well, I've been to 4 this year.
And that year, let's see, I would have been 15. I was wearing a glove to the ballpark. But then also there was a point during that season where I looked around and I was like, I think I'm the only person my age that's still wearing a glove to the ballpark. So I feel like there's a cutoff point, and it's right in that like 14 to 15-year-old age range.
Yeah, for me, it was the realization that if a ball's hit to me, I don't want to catch it in a glove.
You want to catch it with your hand?
Yeah.
You want to catch it in your beer cup?
Because I need to make Sports Center. So I need to catch the ball in my hand and drain my beer. That's like, or whatever beverage I have. Even if it's not a beer, I'm going to drain it.
Okay.
Because as soon as the ball's going towards me, I'm thinking, this is my one moment, my one chance of the 15 minutes of fame.
It's a fair point.
I got to make the Sports Center top 10.
But I also feel like if you're an adult now at a ballpark, like the move has to be when you catch a ball in the stands, you got to look for a kid around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't want to honestly. Like I said, I don't really care about memorabilia. If I bring a baseball home, I won't appreciate it. Mm-hmm. It'll just go in my softball bag where I'll never use it because it's a baseball.
Oh, I got so many baseballs at my house. Do you want a baseball?
No,
I got
don't
like
really
2
want
buckets
a
full of baseballs.
I don't really want a baseball. So yeah, so for me, it would absolutely be like catch it. Who wants a ball? Yeah. Take a ball.
It's actually
assuming that there wasn't some actual value to the ball, like. Julio,
like if it was somebody's 500th
hits
home
his
run.
500th home run, I catch it. I'm gonna hold out for whatever Julio wants to give me for that.
You got Julio hitting 500 home runs. I love it. Love it. That feels like actually a good place to put a pin in the balloon of this episode. So I'm Justin Domashevitz. We have fought through this show without Daniel Hargrove, who is not with us anymore today. And my trusty producer, Andrew Gross. We are brought to you by Ole Penn Real Estate and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. Oh, I forgot, Andrew, I did have a nickname for you.
I didn't have a nickname for you.
Well, I already said I'm Justin Domashevitz.
No relation.
And Daniel, what's the A stand for? Hargrove, not here with us. Andrew, 3 balls in the air at the same time. Gross. You've been listening to The Scrimmage.